Hello to you all on my cleanup crew, First Wave Indigos, and Hologram Rescue Team. I just felt like I really needed to do a quick update here and not wait for like next week or try to get it on the website. This information just seemed too relevant and too important to wait. And so what I'd just like to talk to you about is that, gosh, it was been about almost a week ago, and I was picking up, it was actually on November the 6th, I was picking up that something very significant was about to happen in 5 days. And I wasn't quite sure what it was. It just seemed like, kind of like a huge shift would happen after that. And then later I checked to see what day that was going to be, and it is tomorrow, 11/11. And it's interesting because I got an email today from the gal that helped me from Ottawa when we did the connection between the four rivers grid that she just placed in Ottawa, Canada, and the Vatican and Electric City. And once we connected those, and we did this on Friday, I got the message, the spell has been broken. And I got that several times. I'm like, well, that's cool. What spell is it? Well, it's some serious spells. It's not just one, it's several. But it was just indicating that we are moving and we are breaking through these barriers. I would like to tell you a little bit more about tomorrow. It seems very important that we be focused and look at what we can do and not what we cannot do. That seems very pertinent right now. And I think if any of you saw the video that just went up on YouTube that I did with Rise Multiversity, we had so much interference. It was not funny, like interference from everywhere. And that's why I'm doing this just as a audio file with some pictures on it instead of video, because I didn't want to take any chances of this one getting buggered up. And so it's interesting, the gal that from Ottawa that did the grid where the four rivers meet in Ottawa, Canada, and if you saw the map, you could see that it's like north, south, east, and west. Very, very sacred place at one time before we came in and buggered it all up, and when when the Catholics came in and kind of took over. And so what we did is put a connection between that grid that she had already placed and the Vatican and Electric City in Washington, over by Salt Lake. And it's interesting because these rivers both did the water that was running through Electric City and the water in the falls for the one in Ottawa, they were doing corrupted things with the nature spirits there and torturing them, and they weren't free. And so doing these ceremonies and these connections and gridding them helped free those nature spirits and a whole bunch of other stuff. There was so much dark magic going on, it wasn't even funny. When we placed the grids, we put auroralite water or auroralite dust all over in the falls and in the river below, and this was done a year ago. So and I know that there's underground facilities in all three of these places. So what this did is like really penetrate the corruption that has been going on for a long time, hundreds of years. So when this was done, there was such a relief. And you need to understand a little background too about this client of mine who did this grid in Ottawa. She had a little rooster named Pingu, and it was hatched in her children's school. It was a Montessori school, and it was in 2014, and they hatched it in this Montessori school, and the only one that survived was this one little rooster that they named Pingu. Now, he was an amazing little birdie, and everyone just loved him. He became the mascot of the school. And the children would take him home on the nights and the weekends, and everybody just loved him. Well, in the summer, my client, they got to take him home throughout the summer and take care of him. And he just became part of the family. They just loved him, and they knew that there was something very different about him. Well, when she, in 2015, she got hit by those evil mirrors that I talked about it was like 2 weeks ago that I talked about those when I got hit by it and had that dizzy spell that knocked me down. I was on the floor puking. I didn't think I could get up. I didn't think I could ever do my work again. It was really horrible, scary. And I was like just pretty much bedridden for a while, and I thought, no, this ain't happening. And gradually I was able to override it and figure out what it was, and that's when I found out about these evil mirrors. And you can listen to the video about that and get more information on that. But I've heard of other people getting hit, and it came to me, I was sitting at my computer, and all of a sudden the words started like waving in and out and back and forth, and I thought, whoa, that is so weird. And then within probably 3 minutes, it wasn't very long, I went from being just fine to, I thought, okay, I'll run and get some potassium, and I went into the kitchen, and I thought I was going to die. I was down on the floor throwing up. So it's interesting because she got hit with the same thing about 5 years ago in 2015. And she was throwing up so hard, and she also got hit while she was on her computer. And I since realized that this was AI infestation, the way it moved into you. I think we got it handled, so don't worry about it. But you need to know that this was evil. It was like a 10-level evil and pressing the envelope. Well, she got hit by it too, and she had to go to the hospital. She was dehydrating. It was really, really bad for her. She didn't know about the Screw You Loser protocol, and she was in bad shape. Well, while she came home from the hospital, and while she was convalescing, this little Roo stayed right by her side. And we were wondering what kind of a life form he was, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But what happened to this little Roo next is that he started to crow, and you can't have crowing roosters in the part of the town that she was living in, so she gave it back to the woman that has a heritage farm for chickens, and so she gave it back to her because she couldn't keep him anymore. Well, what happened next was very, very sad. Some of the other roosters ganged up on this little Roo, this little Pingu, and killed him. and it was devastating for everybody, and it's hard for me to even talk about it. So I was trying to figure out what kind of a life form this little Roo was, and I thought, well, you know, maybe he's with some of my chickens that weren't really, you know, first I had to find out if he was really a chicken. Well, he wasn't. Then I thought, well, maybe he is hanging out with Animala, who died in 2015 about the same time he did, and also maybe with Lattice, or with Hercules. And no, he wasn't with them. And I'm like, okay, what kind of a life form is he? Is he a dragon? No, he's not a dragon. Is he a land sea air being? No, he's not one of those. Is he a gargoyle? No, not one of those. I went through all of these lists of animals. He wasn't any of those. But he was definitely on the hologram rescue team. And I'm like, okay. Then I'm checking out to see if he's like maybe an insect or something like that. No, he's none of that. Then I checked out, okay, is he an animal? No. Is he a human? No. Is he a vegetable? No. Is he a mineral? No. Is he a water spirit? No. And I'm just going down the list of everything, and I'm like running out of options. So then I thought, okay, I got to think outside the box here, and all of a sudden it just hit me. I heard this voice that said, he is a plasma being. And I'm like, plasma being? What in the world is that? And I was just stumped. And what's interesting is I was working with 2 other Indigos at the time, like at that time, that were working on how to rewire your brain and how to get to the bottom of some of the corruption that is making us not be the best that we can be and turn on our X-Men abilities. And one of these Indigos had a Tesla plasma ball, and they were kind of working with that and figuring out how that was relevant. And they were doing it that at the same time. In fact, I was watching them in their chat right after I had realized that little Pingo was a plasma Roo. Well, he actually came to me 2 days before that. I got this very calm, serene, powerful, intelligent, highly intelligent. It was energy and a voice. It's like I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do this. And it's like, well, yeah, you could do that, but you could do this too. Why don't you do this instead? And it was just kind of giving me advice. And I'm like, ooh, who is this? Is this somebody that I know? And it's like I was getting no. I'm like, have I ever met you here in this earth life? And it's like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder who it is. But it had such a different frequency to it. It was just, I just had to shake my head. It's like, wow, this is like amazing and wonderful. Well, guess who that was? Yes, that was Pingo, the plasma Roo. So that was my introduction to that. Well, some new things are happening, and since tomorrow is 11/11, I was thinking, okay, I've got to get some more information up here, and I've got to do it now. Well, then I get an email from this gal from Ottawa, and this is what it says. The spell has been broken indeed, and we now can set loving intentions through our own inner restored medicine wheel. Now you have to understand something too. 2 days before she found the Kryahgenetics egg, she was getting that she needed to find an egg that would fix things for her internally. And she didn't know what that was. And then 2 days later, she finds my website with the Kryahgenetics egg. And that was something that Pingu had kind of given her a prompting on. So, okay, so the spell has been broken. Indeed, and we now can set loving intentions through our own inner restored medicine wheel. Now, the interesting thing is on 11/11, for here, it's Veterans Day, and in Canada, it's Remembrance Day. And what has been happening is that there is a distorted remembrance that was designed to perpetuate suffering, war, and sacrifice. It's like that is what Remembrance Day is all about. Remembering the dead, remembering the sacrifice, remembering the blood and the sacrifice. And what she said is we need a new remembrance for all humanity to remember who we really are and why we are here. So I put a little video out called Remember Who You Are. This would be an excellent time to review that video. And then she said we can all set out this intention at 11/11 on Wednesday, the 11th, to restore true remembrance frequencies during our own time zone. And if everyone sets that intention at 11/11 their time, it's going to make some serious waves. So what I would suggest to you is that you do it several times. You know, remember who you are, and let's not look at these blood sacrifice things. It's also interesting, she also wrote that the covert symbol of the poppy flower, flowers over the heart, represent gun wounds. And so there again, we've got the blood, we've got the sacrifice, we've got the loosh running amok on innocent people that don't know that that is what they are doing. So tomorrow, just kind of gear up for this. And tomorrow we will all collectively, and you know, tell your friends, okay, at 11/11 on the 11th, start really feeling and remembering who you are and emanating that. And what we can do with this is make a huge shift. Now that the spell has been broken, we can make a huge shift and start putting all of the cards in our favor. Okay? So good luck to you, everybody. I'll probably be doing a few more of these. I'm working on the anatomy of the porn vibration, what they didn't teach you in Sunday school. About got that done. It should be up hopefully tomorrow for you to buy. We're getting the website ready, and so I'm a busy gal. So anyway, everybody have an awesome day. Don't let these energies get you down. Remember your screw you loser protocol. I've had to say that, I don't know, about 8 or 10 times today already, but it helps instantly. I got back into my center. So everybody have an awesome day, and remember who you are. Love to everybody. Bye-bye.